Hey everybody, Eric here. So, at the Drupal meeting, I was trying to show you guys some grunt stuff, and grunt was giving me an error. The reason was I had my work proxy set up, and it was trying to go through the work proxy, and I wasn't connected to the work proxy. So, I wanted to just make a really quick video to show you guys what I was talking about when I was talking about my LiveReload workflow. So first things first, I have Acquia Dev Desktop running. I'm currently connected to the local server running my dev environment. In my command line, I'm currently inside of the OVS Zen subtheme, and I'm just going to type in the command grunt. Now, grunt is pre-configured to run Compass, and it gives me this little notification down at the bottom to tell me when something is complete or something errors out. It's really big, so if there's an error, I can actually see a much larger error and know that something is gone amiss. Now the second piece here is this uh, extension for Chrome. It's called LiveReload, and you can grab it just by doing a Google search for LiveReload Chrome extension. There may be one for Firefox as well. But once you start running Grunt, the LiveReload server is running. So now I'm going to press this button, and the circle goes from a circle outline to a filled in circle to show me that yes, indeed, the server is running. So just to show you what's going on here, I'm going to hide the sidebar, dock this over to the left, and I've actually already written the CSS for these containers. What we're going to be focusing on are these two containers here, this help for crime victims and help for professionals containers. And now, without doing any refreshing, all I'm going to be doing is working out of my dev environment here. This is really great if you have two screens. I don't have two screens on this laptop right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncomment out the pertinent information. It's actually going to go away. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add a border of 1 pixel around both of these, and then I'm actually going to make each one a grid item that spans the full width of the container, and they already do that, but what this does is this allows me to not have to set Zen grid container multiple times. Now I may refactor this, and I may not need to even do this. I may just be able to set something else differently, because we're going from mobile first. So this is what mobile will be. Mobile will be 2 containers that are full width. Now this is set over here. This will also be full width, and that'll drop underneath once that's all done. But what I'll do now is I'm actually just going to save the CSS file, the SAS file. And as you can see, I'm still in here. I haven't actually touched the browser yet, but the browser has actually updated. So now, if you can see it, it's a small border around there. Now, if just as an example, I'll set this to 5 pixels so you can see it a little bit easier as it updates. Now, I'm not touching anything. I'm moving the mouse around, not pressing F5, and there we go. Now I have a 5 pixel border around here, and this is all done through the LiveReload server. So we'll set this back to 1, but what I really wanted to do was I wanted to, at my default breakpoint of 768, I actually wanted to create a grid. So at this point, we actually want them to be next to each other, side by side. So what I've done here is I've set them to clear none, so that there's no clear for them, because the ZenGrid uses floats. And then I've included the ZenGrid item here, so the first one will span 1 column and start at the first column, and the second will span 1 column and start at the second column, because I've only got 2 columns set for this specific row. And it'll be as simple as, again, saving this file If I switch over to here, we can actually see it update in real time to, so I dropped it down to 1 pixel, and now these are both floating here. And because I added that breakpoint, as soon as I reach my 768 breakpoint, which is about here, they now drop down and they're no longer floating, so they're on top of each other. So just as one more quick example of how that would work, I mean, we're talking about, let's say we want to remove the margin of all the H1 tags and padding, just in case it's padding. I can't remember which one is default. Let's say our paragraphs, we wanted to do the same thing. And our anchors, what we want those to be is we want them to be display block, border 1 pixel, solid, and then NYG border. And we want them to be padding 1 EM, 2 Ms. And then the image, let's say, it'll stretch it, but I'm okay with that right now, just as an example. And now, let's change the color to red, and then color to green, so just so we can see some other stuff, and it's the holiday season. So all I did was save it and take a look, and now we have a full width image. Now it doesn't go all the way to the block because it's got some padding on the outside of it, but the height has changed. We have our red text up here, our green text, and oh, well, with this anchor we also want text decoration none, and we want to text align center. So hopefully you can see the usefulness of having this work right from the very beginning, without having to do much refreshing. And let me just show you how fast a refresh works on this site. So I mean, it's 5 seconds, 6 seconds or so in between every single refresh. So rather than doing that refresh every single time you want to see an update, just running this live reload server, and it just scans in the background to make sure to see when things have been updated or not. So just a quick update to show you guys how this thing actually works in a development area. Hopefully you can find some use for it.